Tohi also playing host to the All-22 Regional. A busy weekend in the desert, and our guy Greg Biggins was there to take it all in and is now joining us here on the show to give us a full recap of everything happening in Vegas over the weekend. Football-wise, we don't need to know what was happening on the Strip. But Greg, thank you so much for being here to give us a full breakdown. Let's start with the top player in Hawaii who was there. That was quarterback Jaron Keawe, Sagapolutele. Hope I did all right. How did he do?
Nice work. He did great. You know, he was our alpha dog. Not just me, Blair, Huffman. We all had a great time out there. So, no, Jaron, I thought he had the strongest arm in the camp, one of the strongest arms I've seen on the tour this year. That includes quarterbacks, not just locally, but nationally. I mean, the guy can absolutely rip the football. Southpaw, I don't know what it is about lefties. It always looks smooth, whether it's golf, throwing a bowling ball, or a football. But Jaron, man, he's got a big-time arm. He was smart. He can take drops under center, rolling out right, rolling out to the left. I love the pace that he played with. I think he's got a chance to make the Elite 11 finals. It'd be fun to see be biased. I'm a little biased for the Hawaiian boys, so I would love to see him make it. I think he's got a great chance. He had a great weekend, I thought.
He is, I think, the closest thing at the high school level that we've seen to Michael Penix over the last couple of years, from a frame standpoint, from a cadence standpoint, with the rhythm that he throws the football. And interestingly enough, Washington was one of those first offers that he got when Kayden DeBoer was still there. So he made it up to Seattle last year, took a photo with Penix, and says he really studies his game. So he's excited to see what he can do in Atlanta in that quarterback battle. He's really impressive. I hope we do get to see him in Los Angeles at the finals this summer. Another quarterback that really stood out to us, Greg, was Robert McDaniel. He's headed to Berkeley to play for the Cal Bears. What did you like about his game?
I mean, I liked everything. Dude, first off, I'm going to steal that Michael Penix from you, Blair. That's a great comp right there. I'm definitely going to take that. McDaniel, for me, suddenness. You don't hear it a lot with quarterbacks. You hear it more with, skill players, receivers with the ball in their hands. But I like the way he plays, the way he moves in the pocket. His drops, the way the ball comes out. I thought he had one of the quicker, tighter releases in the camp. I thought he was very accurate. Some of the drills were just basically you get the ball and just get it out as quickly as you can. He was able to do that from different arm angles, which I've always been a big fan of. Looked very comfortable there. We saw him at the Under Armour camp in SoCal last month or back in March. He was okay. I thought he was really good this past weekend. Again, cliche time. I thought he checked off all the boxes for me. Again, drops or under center, accuracy to all three levels of the field. Very confident, very poised, made all the throws that I want to see. I think Cal's got a really good quarterback coming in.
Not just quarterbacks. Let's talk about some receivers. Top 247 wide receiver Phillip Bell. He is wanted by power conferences, really coast to coast. But what did you think of his performance this weekend?
I mean, obviously it was a quarterback camp, but I couldn't get my eyes off the receivers. I thought the receiver group was the strongest in that All-22 by a wide margin. And Phillip Bell, he's had a really good offseason. We saw him at the Under Armour camp back in March. I mentioned that with McDaniel, and Bell was a top performer there this past weekend. Again, really, really impressive. He probably the most technically sound route runner. Talking to some of the wide receiver coaches there, they said he's a college-level route runner right now, right? He's got the frame, body control, really, really smooth, soft hands. You don't even hear the ball, and he's up the field. And I liked how after every one of his catches, he's turning it up, going in the end zone every single time. So really impressed with Phillip Bell, not just this past weekend, but all off season. I think he's kind of lived up to a lot of the hype he got as an early freshman sophomore.
He's going to be really busy in the coming months. He's got official visits locked in with places like Washington, Penn State, Tennessee, USC, Ohio State, which knows a thing or two about wide receivers. He was decked out in Ohio State gear, actually, wearing a pair of Ohio State gloves and a pair of Ohio State sweatpants. So watch out for the Buckeyes there as well. Another player that we really, really loved was Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, the 2026 four-star wide receiver from Mater Dei out in Southern California. You're very familiar with his game. GB, you've called him a prototype wide receiver. Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been watching him since 8th grade. I saw him at the Under the Radar camp as an 8th grader, and originally from NorCal. And I feel like those guys from the Bay Area have a little bit more toughness and edge. Not to get any of my SoCal friends unhappy, but the guy's got a little bit of dog in him for sure. He's got a very projectable frame. He's got a lean 6'2", 175-pound frame. This guy's going to be 215 when he hits the weight room in college. Got a little bit of a Julio Jones type game for me. Again, strong hands, body control, explosive route runner. And again, he's not even close to being where he's going to be, not just physically, but again, talking to some of those receiver coaches, they say, he's still kind of raw as a route runner. He just gets by just by being quicker, stronger, and more athletic, but made 50-50 catches, contested catches. He was fun to watch. Again, I was watching the quarterback play. I could not take my eyes off the guy in the red shorts, which was Dixon-Wyatt. He was probably my alpha for the whole entire weekend. I love the way he competed and played all weekend.
All right, speaking of Southern California products and modern day guys, you've got the offensive lineman, Sione Tohi. What did you like about his performance?
Yeah, and I mean, not to make it all about the Monarchs, but they did have a pretty good weekend. They do have some pretty good players that are good at football. Sione kind of got overshadowed a bit last year playing alongside guys like Brendan Baker and DeAndre Carter. But honestly, you talk to some of the coaches at Modern Day, they felt that Sione Tohi, we call him Wheela, they thought he might have been the most consistent offensive lineman at times last year. He's a guard, he can play some tackle, right or left side. The lineman competition was actually pretty entertaining. A lot of good players on both sides, defensive lineman, edge, interior guys. So Sione took reps as a guard and as a tackle. I think it's a guard at that college level, but just advanced technique, right? All those modern day guys always going to have a little bit of an advanced technique, kind of like the Bishop Gorman kids where we were on Sunday, but super strong, really good feet. Like the way he could recover if he was beat initially. Long arms, tough, nasty. Again, cliche time, you call him a box checker. He's got everything you want to see, the next level interior guard. I love the way his game is progressing and trending right now.